Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're here with another NTW 3 Battlefield today, and already this one is getting straight underway. It's going to ruin my intro. And you can see here we have Chasseur Cheval already going in, trying to deal with some Russian cavalry here. And we have some Hussars also going in. They're going to go in for a round 2 there. But yes, as they are battling on there, it looks like, yeah, the French are going to win that and maybe get out. Oh, maybe they go in for another charge on the infantry here. They might win that one as well. The Russians really going to allow them just to do that? Okay, they are. But they are going to survive, the Russians, just about. And here we go, Russian cav coming to the rescue. But there you go. Since that early excitement got underway, we do have a NTW 3 clan battle for you today. So yes, we are returning to the clan battle. It's been a little while since we've done any of these. We're into Season 4. Last one I covered was a Season 3. Not that I don't think it really matters too much. I think there is like a prize at the end. I can't remember. I remember Nate telling me what the prize was. I think they get like a special rank, and they also get some sort of like some prize as well if they come top of their league. Hopefully I'm putting up the league table for you to have a look at, see where everyone is, and maybe get an idea of, you know, how good these teams are. So on the Imperial side today, we do have Hiller playing as the Imperial forces. We can see all their corps because we're looking from the French perspective. And yeah, we have Murat, which is obviously going to have a lot of cav here today. So we've got a whole cav corps. We've then got a Eugene, which is a 10-pointer. So yeah, I think Murat is also, yeah, 10. So yeah, Eugene's a 10 as well. We have Davu over here, which is a 13-pointer. And then somewhere along the lines over here, we do also have, if I can find them, we also do have the Guard, which I think is a 7 points, which comes to 40 points in total. There they are, the Guard Imperial. I actually haven't seen a single infantry unit for them. But they might be mixed in here with Davu, I'm not entirely sure. But they do have some artillery dashing about here, some of the old guard sort of horse artillery dashing about. So yeah, so we do have 40 points on either side in this one. On the Russian side, we do have 4 Russian armies. And it looks like the French are going to lose out in this cav fight. The Polish Lancers might turn that around. Good charge there. Yeah, they got in and out pretty quickly, so that was nicely done. But yeah, from the Russians, we have Wittgenstein, we have Tuchkov, Bagration, and Dutorov. So yeah, I think Wittgenstein's a 9 or a 10-pointer. Oh, and the French going in again over here, again losing another caveat. Eugene losing Chasseurs. And then the French losing out again, and that one there, looks like we're going to see the Russians that die as well. We're going to see more Russian cav going there. French Hussars from Murat are going to try and get out of there. Yeah, I think the French are going to try and get everything out. And here we go, Dragoons, the Royal Piedmont coming forward from Murat. They might just scare off just about all the Russians there. So there you go. After all that, cavalry excitement. Both sides have lost a few cavalry units on either side. Yeah, building has been captured. So what has been the sappers back here from Davu are just going to be left there to hold that. If it does come to an LOC, because that can be a way you can win. The battle is with an LOC, of course. They are all dotted over the map. As you can see, the French now hold 4 LOC points. There are about a couple more in the middle of the battle, and there's also another one back here, another 4-pointer that the Russians could go and take if they wanted to. But yes, it looks like the French are just going to go straight on in, and they're going to try and obviously contest for these LOC points here. But the Russians also kind of already occupying. There's a 2-pointer here that the Russians have already got troops in and around. The Guard I have still yet to see in here. Are they in this? No, it doesn't look like they are. Maybe we're just going to find out. There you go, the Ladou's here. So that's no surprise. I wonder if the Guard has just brought a lot of cav and support, like artillery and stuff. I imagine there is infantry somewhere lying around, but just yet to see it. But yeah, so this is a clan battle that's done between sort of the Lord's Discord. If you haven't joined their Discord, it's probably the best place to go if you ever want to get an NTW3 game. If you ever want to get involved in any sort of battles with myself, though, you can also join my Discord and get involved in some battles and scenarios and streams there. But if you did fancy taking your chances in one of these clan battles, and you've got a few friends that play the mod, and you're like, yeah, I think we could give it a go, feel free to join their clan battles. They are always, probably looking for more teams. They probably want to expand the tournament and make it as large as possible. And it certainly is a very, very highly competitive, high-level sort of games. I feel like we're going to see some interesting moves, some interesting strategies. We've got the Chevalier Lancers here from Murat there, a tiny little unit, 17-man unit. It's going to try and nick in between these squares here. I don't think it's going to make it. Yeah, the Russians are going to charge and stop any chances of the French getting that gun there, which is exactly what they want to do. The Russians there firing. They maybe want to hold their fire because they're probably going to shoot some of their own friendlies. There you go. Chevaliers are routed. Another French cav off the battlefield. If we quickly just open up the map, you can see here that the blue is the Russians. They're really pressing on to the French right, and also, yeah, trying to really sort of push that back. Looks like there's a lot of sort of like Davout's cav over here situated, and Murat's also got some more here as well. But yeah, the guard is also setting up here somewhere. Somewhere they are setting up. I've, like I said, yet to see them really, apart from a couple of infantry, a couple of cav units and the guns. I honestly do not know what they have brought. Yeah, we've got 6-pounders there, another 6-pounder there. They just brought a lot of artillery. It might be the case, you know. We're just going heavy on the artillery. I mean, they are expensive units to bring. I mean, I'm gonna get criticized for being like blind or something if I just miss the guard. But yeah, here are the grenadiers. They're very the grenadiers, like cavalry guardsmen. They're pretty good. But yeah, there you go. Another cav charge failed here. We actually have Gustav Wittgenstein, some which I presume is a relative of the Russian Wittgenstein. I don't think he's Russian anyway. I think he is like a German, sort of emigre to the Russian army. But yeah, he's Bavarian cav that is routed, and Murat's, and also looks like they lost some lances as well. So big losses there. Eugene coming forward with the cousins of the Emperor and some other infantry as well. But yeah, here are the cousins. These are Laguerre, they're pretty decent shooters. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to just try and use line infantry to outshoot the Russians, which I'm pretty sure that they can do. I'm pretty sure the French have the ability to just outshoot the French. These guys can form square as well, so if a cavalry charge is enforced by the Russians here, which it might be, there's massing up a lot of cav there. They can form square, but the Russians might just counter that with a charge from their bayonet twirling infantry. Yeah, I still yet to see much more than that. I wonder if they have just brought some very elite cav and some artillery, and then just told everyone else, bring as much as infantry as you can. Like Eugene and Davout is obviously going to rely here. They're going to rely here heavily on the infantry, and I mean they are pretty high pointers, 10 and 13. They can bring a lot of it. And we've got carabiniers back here, and we've also got grenadiers for Eugene. So we've got some pretty good melee boys that can be useful. Like these are G4s, they're carabiniers, they're pretty useful. They're like quick moving grenadiers. But yeah, it does seem as though it's a very strange guard build. Very, very strange. But yeah, you've got still bringing up more artillery. These are 12-pounders. These are slow moving. These are the foot artillery that are moving up. The horse artillery here is very much already in play and ready to go. But it looks like France is really dominating this center point here. As you can see, they're already splitting the Russians up, which is a bit of a danger. If the Russians can quickly back off here, that'll be great. But otherwise, as you can see, Eugene and Davout here are trying to pin this Russian player to the water and the woods over there, and trying to swing around on his left, the French right. Oh, it's really the center, but it'll become all the French right for temporarily, I guess. You can sort of see the French right is shifting more centrally. The Russians are obviously really strong on this left-hand side here. Have got a lot more of their resources there. The French just aren't interested. They're going to keep falling back. But yeah, if you're enjoying the NTW3 action, enjoying the Napoleonic chaos, I want to see more of these sort of like clan battles, more competitive battles, do let me know. I'll try and cover a few more. They are very, very fun. And yeah, I mean, something a little bit different. We've done a lot of, obviously, I like to try and cover as many different like sort of players battles as you can. It just depends what replays I get sent. And I also know there's other creators like Kingston that often use a lot of these replays. So I don't want to like just show a replay as well that maybe someone else has shown, because then you're just watching the same battle for a second time and you already know what's going to happen. That's not very exciting. I did wonder for a moment whether I did think maybe the Muscadins get brought up as well, but I don't think they have been. You don't need them really. If you're rooting for the French, I say we, like I was playing. We have Jurassius here. Looks like Murat has gone for much more, less of a heavy cab build, because obviously Ledoux's here, much more for like a medium sort of cab build. There's another little Chevalier trying to get in there, get those guns, and again is being sort of defeated. Bavarian artillery has been shifted up. Hopefully this infantry is going to stop firing, because otherwise they're going to do a lot of damage to their own troops, to their own artillery. And here we go, a cav charge from the Russians. These infantry can fall square. And dude, that was very late, I feel like. I thought the Russian player stopped almost in front of the infantry. and then charge. Oh, he didn't even really charge. This unit could have maybe been broken. This one might get broken because it didn't form square. They could have. The cousins here, failing their emperor. Failing their uncle? I don't know if that's right, or their other cousin, the emperor. I don't know. I know they're not really. It's kind of funny to think that they are. But no. And you can see the cuirassiers there. They didn't save the French guns, but they did rout the Russian cav. And there you go, another dragoon coming in. They might get these Russian infantry here, but yeah, the cav is now going hard on the left side here. More dragoons going in, fighting against those cuirassiers. They are going to battle out there. We'll see how that goes. Looks like the French there sending in some dragoons themselves. The Royal Piedmont routed one of the Russian cav. The squares have sent them backwards as well. And looks like we're seeing more cav being shifted over there to that left flank. The French smell blood. They can see that the Russians do not want to win this cav fight. And the cav, the French, is now in behind the Russian infantry. And that is a problem. If the French can get up some infantry, maybe try and push this hard. We've got some reserves here. Eugene has got some Italians that can maybe be useful in that scenario. And you can see here the French, you now have Davout here, shifting to try and resist a Russian counterattack, to try and relieve his ally on that far right-hand flank of the Russians. And there you go. Looks like Davout's losing quite a lot of Laguerre here. He might need to think about retreating himself. Murat losing some chasseurs and a bit of a cavalry duel there. But yeah, this is a big, big problem, this left flank now for the Russians. Their right is pretty much just fully inverted now. And we've got cav units like this, causing all sorts of problems for the infantry. They need to hold their fire here, the cousins. Stop firing into your cavalry units and start to maybe move down. Start looking at maybe shooting at this infantry unit here instead, or just going into melee, maybe charging them. Could try and rush for the guns, maybe if you want to do as well. If you with the cav, get these cuirassiers were desperate to get them. There is also a general here. The Russian player not paying attention, and his general could get caught here. It means that very exhausted cuirassier unit might not make it anyway. Another, we've got the Carabineers now coming up. These are gorgeous. They're one of my favourite cav units, I think, for the French in this period. The French certainly losing out that first sort of engagement on this right flank here. The Russians pushing hard on the French, and you can see that Davout is falling back. It looks like he's actually throwing in some infantry in. I imagine they must be okay in melee, but they have the guard here. Russian guards that I imagine are holding infiltration. Yeah, they're going into melee. I think it must be 1812. Obviously it's 1812 Russia because we've got like things on brigation, but that general being killed, I imagine is this Russian army over here. A general getting run down. Yeah, they've got the hussars running around. Yeah, you can see the general staff dead there. That is a shame. So that's one Russian army wiped off the field, and that is on them for not retreating. They were getting pushed from the center here. You can see the French plan to divide the Russian armies. It worked. And they managed to divide and conquer one of those Russian armies very nicely. Can they do the same here? Now the Russians took Eugene and Davout. I mean, they kind of like split off, really. Well, certainly Davout is kind of split off from Eugene. Eugene went over here with Murat, and now Davout's kind of getting pounded hard. So Eugene is desperately trying to get over here and support. The Russians, the Italians are running over their own French allies here. They need to, fall back. There's a lot of sort of like marching over in front of each other and like people shooting their own men. So the French men are getting a little bit too excited. Not great communication maybe on where exactly things should be going. And we have the Pavlos Grenadiers going in. So look at this, these guys going in. These are some of the most elite infantry that the Russians have to offer. They're taking on some Italians. Not so elite. Yeah, those are very unique, very iconic shakos there. Looks like actually they're going to come out of melee, at least one of them is. They, I guess, want to use them somewhere else. Maybe they feel like this fight here against the French isn't going so well. And there you go, they managed to win there. The guns here, these Bavarian guns, very much open to maybe getting charged. Essentially, and there you go, a recharge from the Pavlos Grenadiers. And they're going to try and break through Eugene's line here of Italians. He might just be broken in time. We've got Davout setting in Chasseur Cheval. The Cav here certainly upset the Russian charge. I don't think they've broken, but it doesn't look like their charge really got much further either. It looks like they've been stalled. The Russians not slowing down, I'd just like to say, more infantry going in here. These are Jaeger. The light infantry going in. And There you go. I mean, it looks like Carlos Grenadiers are fine. They actually might win this fight against the chasseurs here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They are very elite. But they need to get them back. Try and withdraw them, rest them up, and get them ready for another fight, another push with the melee capabilities of Russia. Dragoons here mopping up some Jaeger. Evidently can't form square. And also Carabineers in here, also trying to harass something. I don't know what they're trying to get. Russian infantry, maybe? Looks like. Yeah. Some elite heavy cavalry here, also riding down some Russian infantry. So the Russians maybe overextended a little bit, and now we are seeing Murat and Eugene still stabilize the situation a little bit on this flank. It looks like Russia is going to try and shift what resources he has towards the center here. And this is a fast and furious NTW3 battle. Both sides are not slowing down. It is do or die, it seems here. Russia is going in. Looks like they've got a lot of their forces here. It's a thin French line that's holding. There is only 2 actual French armies. The Guard and Murat are really providing support in other areas. Jean and Davout need to hold on. A lot of Laguerre getting charged here. They're okay in melee. I don't know if they'll stand against the Russian line. A general coming up to support, you know, just give those inspires and support morale. Again, the Italians being attacked. They are definitely the units that are trying to sort of pick off if you can. They've definitely probably got lesser morale and probably lesser stats to their French counterparts. You can see the French left is now swinging in. This is Davout over here as well. He just seems everywhere right now. Davout and also Murat trying to swing in. The French centre is buckling. Davout here is dying, and we are going to see Ledoux, the Grenadier Guard cavalry being sent in. They are going to make a big difference. And in they go, slamming into the Russian infantry. They couldn't form square in time. It's just been a melee. They've been caught. And now is the time to start hacking and slashing on these bad boys. And they are probably going to at least rout. Yeah, they've got 1 Russian then. They might get a couple of other ones, but the French are still retreating here. The Russians, if they wanted to, could just set up a couple of line infantry and start blasting inside of Ledoux. This looks like we're going to see Russian cav being brought up to maybe combat the Ledoux. He's going to fall back, and he only took 5 losses in that charge. I mean, in fairness, he didn't take out many Russian infantry units, but he certainly stalled them for a bit. Whether France can re-rally some of these units, we'll see. We have the Guard General here, the Cavalry. He's trying to rally some stuff. His Guard artillery, his 12-pounder, still trying to set up as well. And the Chevaliers on this right flank here, Murat are now going to have to get in behind and do a lot of God's work. Save Napoleon's army. Looks like we've got some big guns here for the Russians that just wasted, just getting run down by Chasseur Cheval there. And yeah, they're going to need to get in behind of these French cavalry, just try and slow down the Russians, maybe make the Russians think there's more French troops over there other than Cav. And looks like we've got Dragoons going in again. Looks like they're trying to harass this Russian army. We've got a general being committed. What is he doing? Get out of there, you madman. You might be a Russian. You might be keen for a fight. This is not the time to go in. And yeah, Eugene with the force over here, like on this left flank, but also Davout's forces on this left flank. They need to start swinging in and trying to tighten this very loose knot, because the knot is being held together by Cav. I mean, it is looking a little bit like an encirclement at the moment, ever so slightly. There's a lot of routing units here on this right flank. You can see where my cursor is. So, like, yeah, really where the Russians are sort of pushing on here. They are sort of breaking that encirclement, but it's a loose encirclement with Cav and artillery. The infantry on this side is really obviously putting the pressure on, and the front line just keeps changing constantly for the Russians right now. At one point it was the enemy was in front of them, at one point it was to their left, to their right. Now they're behind them where they like initially came from. They're just like, well, on earth we got to go. But they've still got a decent cavalry arm, sort of kind of being protected here. Got about 3 or 4 cavalry units in there by the looks of it, maybe 3. And they all look like decent dragoons. It looks like another fight going on over here on the outskirts. And there's actually Cav in there as well. Cav trying to support, and the Russians look like they're being routed out of this building here. With all the Russian infantry running by, that's probably not helping morale here either. So it looks like the French probably will take that LOC back, or take it for the first time. And it looks like we're going to see a Grenadier unit from Davout here. Get committed. He needs to go in now. He's just standing here. Get in, Sonny. It's your job to get in there and start twirling bayonets. What is routed here? some more Laguerre. The Russians going in with that cavalry arm, rear charging Italians. It's certainly been a messy one. I wouldn't say either side has really covered themselves in glory with some of the micro in this one, and some of like the losses. And the Chevaliers, the Bavarians here going in, they really routed themselves. They could still, the red line, and the Russians actually are holding pretty strong. And they might take these French infantry here to change that. There you go, the Russians rout the Bavarians, and they're actually going to hold against that French infantry charge. These other infantry here from the might need to just rear charge and finish them off. And it looks like, yeah, Russia's still pushing on quite nicely over here, scaring off from Du, which is great, but the danger's over here now. We've got, yeah, more like, we've got the Carabineers, we've got other units in here as well, trying to scare off these dragoons. If we get rid of the Russian cav, they've got a good chance, the French. They have a lot of cav themselves. Yeah, the Carabineers still healthy. 62 of them, they're winded, but they've been rested up a bit. We've got the cuirassiers defer here also going in. They're going to try and stop the Russians with the charge there. I think this is the Muscovy sort of infantry unit there. They've been routed. There you go. Buildings been captured. And yeah, that's looking like the Russians are pretty much defeated almost, I'd say. They are the blue markers that are left, and they've kind of just been broken up all over the place here. And all of a sudden, just that encirclement slowly from the French did make a difference. And there you go, a general's fallen again. Another one is gone. The Russians. I think he's over here somewhere. He's getting run down. But yeah, I mean, the Russians were close. So they could have done it. They did make a pretty decent charge against the French centre, or what became sort of like the right-hand flank, because they only had the 2 infantry corps. It was very ballsy, I will say, for the French to try with like the strategy. Yeah, the guard just really just all artillery and a few cav units, and that was it. I don't think there was anything else here. We've got some infantry back here rallying for
I fear your general is in mortal peril,
for the French. And then you see, looks like the Carabineers are not slowing down. They're going to just charge into squares. We get here, challenging them. And another unit of cav coming in, some dragoons here, smashing into some line infantry. That might dishearten the infantry units around them. Looks like the Russians are making their last stand at this LOC here. The cav is going to fall back and try again. Murat, though, bringing in a lot of medium cav. Definitely, I think, was the better choice. I think they, honestly, like a good dragoon unit could be just as effective as a good cuirassier unit. And it's not as heavy, so it doesn't take as long to sort of like recharge and go in again. And this looks like that might be the final unit. There's one here as well in the building. It looks like on the map there's little to nothing left for the Russians. Yeah, a very fast and deadly battle that one was. And yeah, it started quickly. I mean, there's a great divide and conquer on this side here from the French. And really that was unfortunate for the Russians. They should have fallen back. And they lost a lot of their cav in this fight. I mean, it was always going to be tough. They had to bring a lot of cav to combat Murat. But yeah, whether this left flank could have maybe pressured a little bit quicker, I don't know. It's hard to say. The French just kept giving ground and giving ground. And there you go, another general dead as well there. So yeah, there you go. That is pretty much the battle. And I just think we're going to fast forward now. And I'll see you guys in a moment at the end results, as we just wait for the last few Russian units here to get run down by French units. I'll see you guys in one moment. So there we are at the end results. So yeah, just a couple of more minutes and the Murat's cavalry just had to go and run down a few isolated Russian units. But yeah, we are now at the end results. Hopefully I put them up for you to have a look at so you can see what they look like. So yeah, well done to Hiller and his and the team there for winning that game. A really, really good one. So yeah, very, very good team. And did a really good job, to be honest. You know, like for a high point game, for like 40 points as well. I was expecting to see like a lot more like infantry, but you know, a lot of cav being brought from both sides really, and trying to make it more of a competition on sort of the cav front than the infantry. But yeah, very back and forth. The Russians, I felt like at one point could have countercharged and just basically ended all of those French losses, or French victories, sorry, at the beginning there on that left flank. But yeah, in the end, the French left came back into the fray and managed to save the day. But there we'll go. and have a look at the end results now. And we got a 207 kills for an infantry here. Let's purchase. So we're looking from, I think it's from Devue's point of view. So yeah, so that's, and you can see here we've got like 192 kills with infantry. Yeah, some of these guys got a lot of chevrons. 144 with some more infantry there. 143. Yeah, the infantry did well. Even like these Barden infantry, 100 kills there. And there are the rest of the kills if you want to have a look at those. Got some decent ones across the board for most of the units. But yeah, there you go. A different battle for you today. A clan battle. Certainly was a fun one. And yeah, I look forward to covering a few more of these because I think they could be very fun and very chaotic if they all follow this suit. But yeah, until next time, guys, go check out some more of these NTW3 battles appearing on your screen. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.